Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is battling war on multiple fronts, and the situation is very, very grim. His army is stretched thin, ammunition is low, and Russia is making slow but steady advances across the 1,000-kilometer front line. But the battlefield isn't his only crisis. His top aide, Andriy Yermak, the man leading Kyiv's negotiating team, has just tendered his resignation after anti-corruption investigators raided his residence. The search is part of a $100 million kickback scheme investigation at Ukraine's state atomic energy company Energoatom. Here's what you need to know about the pressure cooker Zelenskyy is trapped in. US President Donald Trump is pushing a new peace formula and reportedly gave Ukraine a 3-day ultimatum to sign or lose American support. Zelenskyy himself admitted Ukraine faces, quote, a tough choice between, quote, the 28 difficult points in the peace deal, or, quote, losing the US's support. The initial 28-point plan was brutal. It would have forced Ukraine to cede occupied territories, cut its military to 600,000 troops, and enshrine in its constitution that it will never join NATO. After European outrage and intense talks in Geneva, the US backed down to a revised 19-point plan that removed the troop cap and softened the NATO ban. But the pressure hasn't let up. US Army Secretary said, quote, the US armed forces love Ukraine, but it is our honest assessment that Ukraine is in a very bad position. Trump himself reportedly finds the war, quote, nauseating and wants peace now. Meanwhile, Putin is playing hardball. He rules out any agreement with what he calls Ukraine's illegitimate leadership. But behind the scenes, he's open to discussing a Trump-led peace plan. US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is heading to Moscow next week. With his chief of staff embroiled in scandal, his army struggling, and Trump demanding signatures, Zelenskyy's room to maneuver narrows by the hour. The corruption scandal is the worst possible thing at the worst possible time. Yermak has been Zelenskyy's right-hand man for 15 years, and losing him now threatens to weaken Ukraine's negotiating position when they need it most. Basically, Zelenskyy is being squeezed from all sides, by Russia on the battlefield, by Trump at the negotiating table, and by corruption scandals at home. Should Zelenskyy sacrifice his top aide to prove he's serious about corruption? Should he accept a bad peace to keep US support? Or is that just surrender with extra steps? And will Trump's pressure actually force Putin to compromise or just force Ukraine to give up everything? Drop your thoughts below.